I like Minecraft, I like Lego, and so today we'll be making a Minecraft world in Lego. This isn't exactly an original idea, countless others have already done this before, but for as impressive as those builds are, most of them require an entire room just for themselves. So for this build, I'll be fitting the entire world within 3 base plates, but even though this is way smaller than that of others, this will still be using over 4,500 pieces. Starting with our first chunk, I began building up a large cavern using dark grey bricks for our players to mine through. I'm using dark grey bricks instead of the typical light grey so it won't blend into some builds we'll get to in a minute, and frankly the dark grey does look a bit more accurate. After laying down the main outline, I added a lava pool to the back corner and continued building upwards while filling it with diamonds, gold, redstone and more before tiling off the floor. On the side of the build, I added this secret compartment where you can slide in a light brick and light up the lava pool from behind, and it looks like the added light helped Steve notice the diamonds above. Sure would be a shame if something were to sneak up behind him and knock him into the lava. Finally, I added a roof of inverted tiles to the cave, but before continuing up the mountain, we need to turn it around and tile off the exposed ground. After that, I added a set of cobblestone stairs going up the side of the mountain, and this is why I used dark grey for the regular stone. I also built this classic Minecraft tree and added it to the landscape. I don't know who originally came up with this design, but it's pretty simple to put together. Continuing up the mountain, we'll be building our first player base inside the mountain. I began by just building up the internal structure and then tiled it up with smooth stone slabs before building up the walls using dark grey masonry bricks and plates to make stone bricks. For the interior, I added the classic red bed, as well as a furnace, anvil, and armor stand with diamond armor. I also added a couple lanterns to enhance the industrial look going on, using dark blue pieces instead of black, which I think is ever so slightly closer in color. Finally, I topped it off with a map of the world and a double chest. With that, it's time to wrap it up with a classic snowy peak. I would have liked to make it a lot pointier, but if I made the mountain any taller, it wouldn't fit in my bookcase, so I'll have to call it there. With that, we're done with our first chunk and can move on to the second. Just like before, we begin by building up the main outline, except this time we don't need to go any higher than 2 bricks tall. However, I did build up a tall hill in the back left corner in order to transition into the mountain. Once the main foundation was done, it was time to start with our second player base, except this time we'll be going for a cottagecore aesthetic. The kind of build you'd make as a starter house. Once the floor was in, I added a light blue bed, a furnace, and a crafting table, as well as a table with a freshly crafted cake on it. With that done, I began building up 4 birch pillars in each corner to frame the base, which I then filled in with inverted masonry bricks in tan to simulate birch planks, as well as a couple trans bricks to make windows around the back. Once the building was done, I added an easily removable roof made from oak stairs and topped it off with a chimney. Now the roof segment is not 100% game accurate, since the half block portions of the stairs technically need another 0.5 plates, but personally I'm not that bothered with it and I could always upgrade it in the future. With the base complete, I once again tiled off the exposed foundation with bright green tiles. Next to the player base by the hill, I added another tree, except this one has been chopped down with the top left floating. It was probably the beef boy. After that, I built up a small wheat farm which I then surrounded with fence posts and torches, before adding this scarecrow design from the Pillager Outpost set. Finally, I added this small melon farm based on the melon farm set, which is one of the best Minecraft sets ever made and I will fight you on that. But with that, our second chunk is done and we can place it next to the mountain. Now we could leave it here and we would still be left with a great Minecraft display, but we got the space so we might as well add the final chunk. For this one, we'll be making a creeper farm, and to separate it a bit from the player bases, we'll be putting it in a desert on the other side of a river. I once again built up the foundation and tiled it all off. Now unfortunately for the players, it seemed they forgot to light up the farm before building it, and creepers are flooding out of the remaining crater. He probably shouldn't have left his armor at home. I also added this block of sand floating as an item, an XP orb, and this funky red creeper from the creeper ambush set as a creeper in the middle of its death animation. With the farm done, I tiled off the river, and with that the Minecraft world is almost complete, and what we have left are some final touches. Over at the desert, I added a pair of cactuses and a couple of dead bushes, and on the other side of the river, I planted some sugarcane. Around the player cottage, I planted a couple of peonies and gave the cottagecore player some wheat to lure animals. Also, if you have any ideas on what to name the players, leave them in the comments below. I'm thinking this guy would be XX_ something or Torque Dog, but I'm open for suggestions. Now over by the mountain, I added another player trying to get a villager over to the farm, and a zombie watching him from the mine entrance, as well as a skeleton taking cover underneath our tree. Finally, I filled in the remaining jumpers with grass and flowers, tossed in some final animals, and with that, the Minecraft world is done. It may not be as big and extravagant as some other Minecraft displays, like that of Cheesy Studios, but I do think I was able to fit just as much Minecraftness into this as others, and I have space to add even more in the future. There's a tiny cave around the back that would be the perfect spot to hide Herobrine, but until LEGO makes that figure, this can just be a slime chunk for now. I'd also like to add some other classics like a Netwit, a Pink Sheep, and a Chad Copper Golem, but that's not happening for a bit. As I said at the start, while this is smaller than others, it's still absolutely massive, and in retrospect I probably could have made it a lot denser. Regardless, if there's one takeaway I want you to take from this, it's that you don't need 20 base plates to make a cool display, or heck even 3. As long as you plan everything out beforehand, you can make some amazing little displays for a fraction of the parts, and a fraction of the cost. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Take care.